to try something that we didn't expect and see if it's the catalyst, see if it's the fix. And it may not be. It may be a situation where, you have the pieces that you do and there isn't a play caller that can work with the injuries and the attrition and the backup quarterback and the receivers that aren't catching. Like, there's more than just play calling that's got to be fixed about this offense.
It is.
And so if it does or doesn't immediately work or get fixed, that also still isn't totally an indictment even on Bo Hardigree, because Bo is a product of the ingredients that he has to work with here and the pieces that he has to put in place on the chessboard. Like, this is still going to take time now for them to get used to it.
It is. And to your point, too, about this being his ingredients, Coach Callahan's, like, this is his playbook. This is what Bo has also learned. Now, the way Bo puts his ingredients on the field, how he chooses to dial up a game, the first 10 or 15 plays of the game matter, Will. I wonder, will there be a different variation of what Bo chooses to call on third down? These are the things I feel like I'll be watching for on Sunday. Like, what is he doing on first down? What's the tendencies? What does he do in 3rd and 7+? Is he dumping the ball off? Is he actually having Cam drop back? Because, again, his communication with Cam over the last 3 weeks has been something that's been very privy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that part that maybe he has a better understanding of Cam, having working directly with him. There's a big test for Bo, and I think an even bigger one for Callahan on the back end of it.
The biggest difference in the Raiders' offense in the 9 games Bo Hardigree was in charge of versus Josh McDaniels was the run game. They were 40 yards better per game on the ground under Bo Hardigree's leadership than they were under Josh McDaniels. I do think if you're looking for a strength to build on, Ramon, on this Titans offense, it's running up the middle. I think they're having success right now running behind Lloyd Cushenberry, Peter Skoronski, and either Blake Hance or Kevin Zeitler. Brian Callahan's talked about how they are running plays behind Zeitler because they feel like he is such a plus for them in the run game specifically. Getting him back would be significant.
Yeah.
Zeitler. I know he was limited yesterday in the walkthrough. J.C. Latham was a non-participant, so maybe this week is a bit too early again for J.C. We'll see once the practice report comes out today, but at least just getting Zeitler, I think, helps you build on something that you feel like you're good at, which is north and south running.
Yeah.
Coming up, voice of the Vols, Mike Keith joins us, previewing Tennessee and Mississippi State, coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Medical House Calls. That is the website, medicalhouseCalls.com. They're available to you 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Same-day appointments are available or next day guaranteed also. All easy for you also is the number. You can take it down. It's 615-838-2375. You can call or text that number. But the process is very simple for you, too. You call or text them, and their team will assess what you need within minutes. You can book your visit, and after a quick chat, they will schedule a visit to your house wherever you are. Again, I know some of us don't want to go into germ field urgent care, appointments that don't fit your schedule, or simply uprooting your life, your kids, your schedule to go see a doctor. It's hard getting off work sometimes, so you just don't want to miss it to go to the doctor yourself. Well, this process makes it even easier, man. They take care of everything, too, from sicknesses, infections, injuries, in-home labs, testing, and more. For a flat fee, you can get an evaluation, full exam treatment plan, and prescriptions if you need it. And here's the other part. It doesn't just have to be for those types of things. They have mobile IV therapy. They can help you fight off the flu. They can also help you with some performance-enhancing cocktails. Or if you had a long week or weekend down here on Broadway, you can go ahead and get you an IV therapy, man. It just help you get those those supplements back into your body, man, to help yourself, the amino acids, anything that you need. The website is medicalhousecalls.com, and make sure you tell them Ramon sent you.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, hour number 3 of your Thursday that we know as Friday Junior here on the program. Vol Network analyst Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, pleased to be joined by voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, previewing Tennessee and Mississippi State from Starkville this weekend. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Thanks, Will.
Good morning, Mike.
Ramon.
Ramon's a little extra chipper because just now he went and watched the SNL skit of I have a fever. The only prescription I have is more cowbell. Mike, I have a feeling you all do not have that prescription this weekend. You are going to be getting plenty of cowbell.
Yeah, I think that's clear. There will be plenty of cowbell. In talking to friends who know a lot about Mississippi State and their program, Davis Wade Stadium is a hard sellout, and there's some thought that this will be the biggest crowd they've ever had there, potentially overtaking the Auburn game in 2014. So I think everybody is excited down there. I think everyone will come equipped with a cowbell, and we'll be ready to kind of see what's going to happen. I've never called a game with the cowbell involved. I guess they do it at baseball too, but I don't remember it. I've done baseball down there before. I've been part of a Vol Network crew that was there. I was there in 1994, which was really Peyton Manning's breakout performance. The game Tennessee actually lost, and so I remember it. But I wasn't on the headset for the entire game, like we will be on Saturday. So I'll be interested to see just how distracting it is. My guess is it's very distracting.
Ramon, have you told Mike your advice for Tennessee fans yet?
Yeah, I want to get clearance from Mike. I feel like it should be okay. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Here's what I suggest. I tweeted about it this morning, too. Since they're allowed to do this and bring their own cowbells in, I'm asking Vols fans to fight the energy with the same energy. Listen. Go to a tractor supply company, okay, and buy your own cowbells. Paint them black or orange or white. No, black
orange
or orange.
britches on Saturday,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
Can go all orange.
Mike, are you opposed to the idea of us using cowbells when they're on offense also?
No, I think that's great. Okay. Why would you not? Why would you not do that? I mean, because there'll be a bunch of Vols there.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
Tennessee fans get in everywhere. They're like Steelers fans. They get in everywhere. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, if we were playing in Alaska this week, you'd have a bunch of people from Wartburg and from Ripley and from everywhere in between that would have somehow gotten in. So, why not? That sounds like a pretty good idea. I like Tractor Supply, too, so that's good. Tractor Supply's a fine local company there. So,
see what I'm saying?
Big shout out to all the people at Tractor Supply.
So if there is an influx of just cowbells being bought, then they'll be calling you is what you're saying.
Tractor Supply will?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, they'll call me.
Endorse them.
It won't be as bad as what they normally call me, but they'll call me something. Yes.
Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, our guest, previewing Tennessee and Mississippi State. Mike, this is an undefeated Mississippi State team, of course, and they've done a lot of good things in a similar type of offense and an Art Briles coaching tree system that Jeff Lebby has that's very similar in a lot of ways to Josh Heupel's. What has impressed you most, Mike, about Mississippi State's start to the season? Because statistically, they look worlds better, albeit in a small sample size than what they were last year.
Well, they clearly know what they're doing within the offense. They know what they want. But the biggest difference is Chapin, the quarterback, is running what Lebby wants to do. And they just never could get going with that last year. Chapin being dinged up and everything that went with his sort of transfer from Baylor. I mean, he knows this offense. He knows what Lebby wants. He's an extension of Lebby on the field. So it's a perfect complement. They have backs, and they have a lot of speed at receiver. And in Traore, they have a really athletic tight end. They have a couple of tight ends that can really do a lot of things. So I think the personnel is better, but I just think the overall understanding. And the other part of it, too, is Phil Lodeholt went in there, and he's a guy that played in the NFL, good offensive lineman, and he did what State seems to do when they're really good. He got their offensive line bigger. He just went and it's like, okay, so when in doubt, let's get bigger people. And that's what you see out of State's approach offensively. They're better in the offensive line, but the quarterback is the major difference.
Well, and Mike, too, it feels like for this Tennessee team, quarterback has also been a major difference. And Joey Aguilar gets a new challenge in going to an SEC road environment. I really enjoyed your breakdown, too, on 3HL the other day, talking about how these RPOs are true run-pass options. And when you look at this Mississippi State defense, what challenges do you think they present, Joey, in addition to the environment, the cowbells, which can't be underestimated, and the challenge of being a quarterback in an SEC road game for the first time in his football life?
It starts with the corners, and that also includes the nickel. Like Georgia, you have potentially future NFL guys there, so the receivers are going to have to win again. And it seems like we've said this, we said it in the Syracuse game, we said it in the Georgia game, but they're going to have to keep proving they can do it. They're going to come with pressure from all over the place. That's kind of what you see out of their defense is they want to bring people. They want to get you in bad situations. Are they just the line up and stop you bunch? Maybe, maybe not. Very few teams in college football are today. But can they make big plays? Yes. I mean, they're +5 in turnover ratio, which says something about their offense, but also says something about their defense. And they've been able to make it really, really hard on people in so many different areas. They're giving up only 266 yards per game, 12 points per game. And a lot of that is just the attacking style that they just keep the pressure on you because they have the guys in the secondary who can do it. So, that's what it comes down to for Tennessee. Now, if Tennessee can make this a punch-for-punch game, line up, move football, stop them some, get the ball back, I mean, Tennessee figures to have some advantage. But if Mississippi State makes it into the frenetic, crazy game that feeds into the environment, Mississippi State has a real advantage. And that's what they're going to want to do defensively that really complements their offense and should be a great source of energy. They should both have a great source of energy from what figures to be an incredible environment.
Joined by Mike Keith, voice of the Vols this morning, talking a little Tennessee, Mississippi State. Mike, when you view this matchup, it could be for you as somebody that sets up the play and as a play caller for this game, it could be fast for both sides of it. They like to spread you out. They like to go quick also, and the offenses are set up very similar. How do you see this as far as which side is going to determine what they want to do? I think the Vols' advantage will probably be running the ball more, settling them down, getting those bells out. How do you see this from Mississippi State's standpoint, Mike, with Fluff Bothwell as they're also a running back?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to is they want to go as fast as Tennessee. And so the concern, if you're Tennessee, is can we get lined up?
Yeah.
Because while they see it in practice some, they rarely see it in a game like what their own offense does. And, oh, by the way, Mississippi State's offense totally emanates from the system that Tennessee's does. So, it becomes about assignment football. It comes from understanding when you can substitute. It comes from really getting the opportunities when you have them. I mean, there'll be some plays that Tennessee can make. Can they make those and get off the field? Neither one of these teams writes down win time of possession as one of their big goals. But in this game, with two teams that don't usually win time of possession, that might be a huge thing, just to keep the other one off the field. I agree with you. The run game, I think, is huge for Tennessee here because run game travels anywhere, anytime, any place. When you can line up and hit somebody in the mouth and run it down their throat, that takes everybody out of it. So I think from the Tennessee perspective, the run game on the road is important anytime. In this game, I think it's extra important because of the opponent, the environment, and just the overall situation.
I also feel like looking at this past game they played against Northern Illinois, the advantage could be the Vols defense taking care of the offensive line of Mississippi State. Now, Phil Loho, like you said, was brought in, and he's reshaped those guys. I actually saw him bench a left guard in this game for having a holding penalty. That left guard was Luke Work. Luke Work came out. He's a sophomore, and he benched him in the middle of the game. So they have a high standard. This is SEC versus SEC, but getting Jackson Moore back this weekend has to be an advantage of the Vols as far as the depth goes, experience, Mike, and having the ability to get upfield on those guys. How are you looking at that matchup in the trenches?
I'm knocking on wood as I say this, but it does feel like Tennessee is going to have as full an arsenal in the defensive line as they've had in a while. And that's a big, big factor because the other thing about Moy, too, now Tyree West, having him back is important because he is a strong player on the edge and does good things. Moy's a disruptor.
Yeah.
You know, Hobbs is a disruptor, too. Doesn't feel like he's going to play. We'll see. But Moy, if he can go, he is a disruptive force when you talk about the opponent run game or rushing the passer. He's annoying. And that's something that Tennessee needs in this game to be able to have that interior presence, because then suddenly you're able to rotate people around. Bailey and Eason don't have to play as many plays. You're able to work in different guys at different spots. They can get in situations where they play the two Leos when they get Herring on the field with Josephs or Ross on the field with Herring or Ross on the field with Joseph, so on and so forth. Yeah, that's an advantage because Tennessee's good there. Tennessee is good in the front on defense. They haven't been as dominant in that area, I think, in large part because of the depth issues and how much guys have had to play. But that could be a big factor on Saturday because, again, knocking on wood, it feels like Tennessee is going to be more healthy than they have been at any time since Syracuse.
Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, is our guest. He is presented to you every Thursday here on the show by Volunteer Traditions and Two Rivers Ford. Mike, unfortunately, there have been these away games under Josh Heupel where, for whatever reason, I don't want to say Tennessee's taken opponents lightly, but as you know, life of the SEC is hard, and anyone can beat you on any given day. So not to say that Tennessee is going to take an undefeated Mississippi State team lightly, Mike, but how big of a point of emphasis do you think this has been for this team, this leadership, this coaching staff to say, hey, we've got to avoid 2024 Arkansas and 2022 South Carolina, 2023 Missouri, although that was a good team as well. I know I'm long-winded in asking the question, Mike, but what about the leadership of this team do you think sets up Tennessee to avoid that game? Because I feel like this has become a big thing that Tennessee fans are a little worried about, maybe clenching their fists about a little bit going into this week and a couple of other games down the road.
Well, they should be, because this is like Pro Bowl. I mean, that's the way the SEC is now. Mississippi State beats Tennessee. I understand that it's technically an upset in terms of the odds makers and this, that, and the other. But is it really in today's SEC world? I mean, that's the difficult premise in all of this, is anybody can beat anybody. I go back to the fact that, and we've discussed this on a couple of our Ball Network shows, who in the SEC is really bad?
Right. Yeah. Right.
I mean, who's really, and listen, there have always been 2 to 3 terrible teams in the SEC historically. Somebody that you knew you were going to beat, somebody that they realistically had no chance except for one any given Saturday. That's not this league. I don't know who's really bad. Now, there's some teams that are better than others, and there's somebody who's going to finish last in the league. But the worst team in 2025 is not nearly as bad as the worst team in 2015 or even 2020.
Right.
And so to give you a long-winded answer to your question, to wrap it all up, the consistency is what you've got to have. And so far, this Tennessee football team has been consistent. They've come out and they've done things on a consistent basis. Even in the loss to Georgia, they did so many good things. They didn't lose that game because they weren't prepared or they came out flat or any of that. They lost because they didn't execute well enough and they were playing against a really good team. That's the same thing here. Is if you come out and you're consistent and you're ready to play, you're doing your things, you're taking care of your business, you still might not win, but you feel really good about your chances. This football team seems to have leadership, which gives it a very even personality. I think that's the most important thing about this weekend. Go do what you do and then take your chances. And I think if Tennessee goes and does what they do, they will certainly take their chances on what the result would be.
No doubt. And what you're looking for also is just growth in certain areas.
Sure.
Ty Redmond, growing up, Mississippi State has a similar player that Georgia has, Zachariah Branch. They have senior wide receiver Brennan Thompson, who is fast. They registered him at a 23 miles per hour clip, okay? And he's about the same size as Zachariah Branch was at Georgia. I'd expect a copycat type of play with how they try to spread the Vols out and get him into space. Secondary must grow up and have grown up, Mike, as Colton Hood now is being considered one of the top corners in the SEC and going into draft season also, Mike, in the early versions of it. Those guys got to step up on the perimeter again.
Mississippi State would be foolish not to try Tennessee that way, right?
Yep.
I mean, you got to make them prove it. And you've got to go up and you got to tackle that guy. You got to take on blocks. You got to be really physical out there on the perimeter. They showed that against UAB. You know, they were much more physical on the perimeter while the first team was in there. And certainly they had some things go wrong later, but that was with backups in. But in terms of run plays to the perimeter and in terms of the quick passing to the perimeter, Tennessee looked better. Truth is, and you hit on it, Ramon, all of the discussion about we've learned, we've improved, we've grown, that's going to be shown this week. Yeah. Impressive that they came out against UAB and played better fundamental football. Impressive they weren't flat. Impressive they ran over them. All good. But where you prove you learn from Georgia is the next SEC game. And then the next one after that. And that's this weekend against Mississippi State. Hey, Brennan Thompson can fly. Yeah. And he's not the only one. You know, they've gone and they've added speed, which I think, you know, for these types of offenses, you've got to have that weapon. You've got to have, or weapons, you've got to have people that you're fearful of. Because as we saw last year with Tennessee's offense, nobody was afraid of Tennessee's receiving corps. So they played them up tight, and all the quick perimeter passes didn't really matter because they weren't afraid of Tennessee going by them. With Brennan Thompson, you can't really play too much on him because you are fearful he'll go by you. So then when they throw that quick pass to him, you've got to come up and be physical and make it happen. And you've got to have pursuit from the linebackers and the defensive line and everybody else. Everybody's got to run to the ball at a proper angle and finish them off. And that's what it's going to take because, like I say, State's going to challenge them. And you mentioned Bothwell, the running back. He's 235 pounds.
Big dude. Yep.
So, and you know, Tennessee had some trouble with Willis in the opener. They had some difficulty with the bigger backs from Georgia in the game because you don't see it a lot. Right. And so, you know, do they highlight Bothwell even more to try to take advantage of that? And he's not their only back. State's got a nice team. Mm-hmm. They really do. I mean, it's a good club. I mean, they are certainly worthy of being one of the teams that you could talk about being one of the surprises in the SEC. And yet, they're just now going into SEC play. Mm-hmm. You know, so they have something to prove as well. We are to that season, and this is where Southeastern Conference football gets fun.
Part of the incredible sports weekend, the best of the year. Upcoming Tennessee, Mississippi State on the Vol Network with Mike Keith and Ramon Foster. Looking forward to listening, Mike. Thank you for the time as always.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, joining us here this morning, presented by Two Rivers Ford and Volunteer Traditions. He's 100% right, Ramon, and I think that's the biggest takeaway I have about SEC football this year is that the high-end teams are closer to the low-end teams than maybe they have ever been.
Yep.
That there are no elites, and there are no basement dwellers that are off weeks.
Feels like any given Saturday is the way it's got to be played right now.
Even more so than usual.
As much as we've talked trash about Florida, I still think Florida has an opportunity to wake up.
Florida was I mean, Florida threw 5 picks against LSU and still was in that game within a score in Death Valley.
Yeah.
Nobody is untouchable, and nobody is just a cakewalk at this point. 615-737-1045. We will catch up on your phone calls.
Yeah.
And I've got a little bit of a take on Tennessee, Mississippi State. I think there's one key area where Tennessee is the better football team that's going to end up being the difference. Because I don't think this is a redo of past Vols losses on the road. We'll talk about that coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, man. Nobody wants to deal with the plumbing, HVAC, or an electric emergency. I'll tell you, man, most of the time, you don't even know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's just trying to sell you something you don't need. But when you call Hiller, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly, man. Cool thing is, the price you're told is also the price you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. They were at my house the other day, man. Pull up the notepad, everything checked out, signed off on it, paid. Simple, easy, man. No lies, no add-ons, none of the foolishness that you have to deal with other companies. Hiller has been here in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated. The techs, very professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and they're all background checked and drug screened, too. And when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting any time. The motto is, happy you'll be or the service is free. If you're not satisfied with the work, they will do all they can to fix it for you or just simply give you your money back. To book with Hiller or to learn more about them, simply visit happyhiller.com.
Wrapping up hour 3, Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee at 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling. It's my last chance to talk Tennessee, Mississippi State with you because I am out tomorrow.
Yeah, you are.
It'll be Lucas Panzica and Ramon Foster for your Friday morning tomorrow.
Man.
I am off to Long Island today, and I will be at the Ryder Cup tomorrow.
Is there a short island we need to know about too?
No. You can join us from Greystone Golf Club tomorrow. We broadcast live from Fight DMD's 16th annual Golf for a Cure. There are still a few morning tee times potentially if you head to fightdmd.com. Sponsorships available as we're excited to support a good cause tomorrow. I'm sad to miss it.
I'll hold it down for you, man. Matter of fact, somebody holding me down right now. Shout out to my guy, Jarvis. He sent me a picture of him listening to us this morning, man.
There you go.
Childhood, hometown teammate, man.
Love it.
Out here making it happen. We'll hold it down for you tomorrow, though, Will. Don't you worry.
I've never, no, I have before. I'm lying. It's been a while since I've been this excited about going to an event.
Straight up. Why
this
so?
Is, it's a hard ticket. And shout out Taylor Zarzer for connecting me and get me up there because he's broadcasting it for Sirius XM on radio. So I owe him forever. But this is probably the number 2 thing on my bucket list to go see. I love the Ryder Cup. I always have. And I've gotten more into golf since I started playing, like after COVID, because I'm a COVID golfer, which a lot of people were in the same boat of like, they're just bored with nothing to do. Like, oh, I'll just take up golf.
Yeah.
And that's like the hobby I have outside of work, even though I'm still terrible. And I've gotten better, actually. I'm not terrible anymore. I'm just pretty bad. And I'm so excited. I'm just so, like, this and the Masters are the top 2 things on my bucket list.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, like, I'm going to, like, remember, maybe I'm weird. No, I know I'm weird. Maybe no one else does this. Remember when you're a kid and it's like Christmas Eve and I would have the thought of like, gosh, I swear if somebody like kidnaps me tonight or if something happens to me and I don't get to Christmas tomorrow, I'm going to be so mad. That's how I feel.
I feel you.
Of like, what if I like stub my toe and I can't walk around the course? Like, what's going to happen? I don't just like, what? I don't want to get sick. I don't want to like, I've been taking vitamin C. I'm like, no, I'm not missing this for the world. I'm so excited.
You're leaving early enough. The only thing that's a bother to you is delay flight.
Well, I'm supposed to land around, I think, like 5:30 tonight or 6.
Yeah.
So even then, I would be fine.
Or New York traffic.
It is supposed to actually be very stormy tonight in New York.
Yeah, that's the only word you got. But, like, they're used to that up there, though. You'll get in on those storms.
I'm so excited.
I mean, listen, have a walk in the airport brew. Okay, have a walk around brew.
Well, yeah, because I'm waiting for my buddy who's meeting me from Atlanta. He lands 30 minutes after me, and there's like a shuttle to our hotel.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wait for him and just have a beer in the airport.
And you can legitimately, like, you can head over to Prince's. It's in between courses C and D. You can get some chicken before you hop on the flight.
For lunch
you
today.
can do that.
Absolutely.
I mean, sounds like a good time.
Titanomics on YouTube says, enjoy your life before you get married and have kids. No, because I've picked the right partner. I'm lucky to be marrying my best friend who I'm going to enjoy life with and do these things with too. So just come with me.
The very important page.
Yeah, that's right.
I hate you.
No, I don't.
You are running game right now. You already engaged to it. What's wrong with you? Save some for the rest of us.
No, I'm very blessed in that department.
Again, there you go bragging again, man.
I'm not trying to brag. I'll brag on her. No,
she already likes you,
I'll brag
man.
on Peyton as much as I possibly can.
Sheesh.
So Tennessee, Mississippi State this weekend, Ramon, I think is a line of scrimmage game that Tennessee is going to win. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is the kind of game where you look at Mississippi State, the sacks that they have allowed, the 5 sacks they have as a defense. I just think Tennessee and Mississippi State's offensive systems have a very critical foundation of just clean pockets.
Yeah.
And if you can disrupt the timing of deep choice, if you can disrupt the vertical passing game that Mississippi State wants to run against your corners, Ramon, I don't think Blake Shapen is very comfortable in this game. I think Tennessee's defensive front is the difference between the Vols and Bulldogs on Saturday. I do think it's a good game. I do think Mississippi State's a really good football team that is certainly capable of beating Tennessee, but I just think Tennessee is so much better up front at the line of scrimmage in this game.
Yep, I do too. I think you got to take what's given to you first in this game. if like their cornerbacks have been slated as having a real good year so far, man. And here's the thing about it. Like, I'm not going to minimize. Yeah, I am. What the hell am I talking about? The opponents they've played, I don't think have chosen to light them up when it comes down to how they've been defending against opposing offenses. Respectfully, I'll say this. Southern Miss. Tight. Okay, Arizona State played them tight. They also won. It was a night game, also including that. Then you got Alcorn State. They beat 63-0. And then, of course, Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, I thought, did a really good job of beating them up and trying to control the game and not let it get away from them. I look at the way both offenses will play and the shots that you got to take. I trust Joey Aguilar, and knock on wood as I say this, Joey Aguilar's ability to connect down the field more than I do with Blake Shapen. The thing that worries me about Blake Shapen, he don't care about running the football. If you keep him in a box,
contain him.
They had two, and it was holding calls that got them nicks, but they had 2 3rd and 20s, and they ran the football. I see that same threat with Blake Shapen. Also, Fluff Bothwell being a part of it. Like you said, big back, 230-plus pounds that he's bringing downhill and likes to play with his shirt up. I'm telling my linebackers, do you hear me?
He does.
That little six-pack he got over here, okay, crack that. I'm talking about crack a can. That's all I'm saying.
Like fans of the parking lot.
Listen, crack a can on that little six-pack he got showing. I'm not saying that because I don't have a six-pack. I don't care about a six-pack. I carry around a keg with me, and it's cool.
It's good analysis.
I know somebody that like it.
That's absolutely right. Ramon, you already got her. What are you talking about? Let's go to Matthew in Franklin, who's up next. What's up, Matthew?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I think I've come up with a invention that's going to solve the problem for the Titans.
Okay.
They lack fire. They lack hustle. I'm going to make an energy drink called Roslay. I take all the power, the effort, the love, the guts of Ron and Ramon, and I put it in an energy drink. And I make everybody drink that before they go on the field. They will run through a brick wall with just a big old guzzle of Roslay.
Roslay. I never even thought about that, Matthew. I'm glad you held on for that one because Roslay might be coming to a room near you is what I'm telling you. Roslay.
Maybe we could get that on the menu at Scooters.
That's going to be my next dog name. Roslay.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Legarius.
I'm a Roslay, baby. Listen, Matthew ain't wrong.
Oh, man.
Hey, don't be yawning at that, man. That was amazing there, Will.
I was sighing.
That was amazing. No, that was amazing.
Maybe not better, but I was not yawning. Coming up, Calvin Ridley was very candid in the locker room yesterday about how he has started the season. We'll tell you what he had to say coming up next. When it comes to ensuring clean air in your home, Lee Company delivers. Their award-winning team provides thorough whole-home duct cleaning services that eliminate dust, debris, and other allergens from your HVAC system. The result? Improved air quality, enhanced system efficiency, and peace of mind. Even better, Lee Company is offering 10% off a whole-home duct cleaning for a limited time. So why wait? Schedule online at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for their duct cleaning services from the folks with over 80 years of experience. Lee Company's been trusted in Middle Tennessee since 1944. They're available 24/7, and when something pops up that's not working the way it's supposed to with your HVAC, with your electrical systems around the house, well, you just call Lee Company. They're there in a flash to fix it for you. 615-567-1000. That's the number to call. And make sure you get that 10% off a whole home duct cleaning for a limited time as well. Online at leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need.
It is 9:01. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans back on the practice field yesterday for a walkthrough, and they'll be back today. They're getting ready for a road matchup this Sunday at 12 p.m. kickoff against the Houston Texans. First injury report of the week dropped yesterday as J.C. Latham, Bryce Oliver, and Khalil Mullings all did not practice. And Kevin Winston Jr., Kevin Zeitler, Cam Ward, who's on the injury report for the first time, listed with an ankle/calf injury. They were all listed as limited participants. Tonight, an NFC West battle as the 2-1 Arizona Cardinals host the 2-1 Seattle Seahawks at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Kickoff set for 7:15 p.m. Central Time, and you can stream it on Amazon Prime Video, or you can hear it right here on 104.5 The Zone, courtesy of Westwood One. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock. And on 3 Sports, Pete Nakos and ESPN's Chris Lowe reported yesterday that Vols defensive lineman Jackson Moy is expected to return this weekend against Mississippi State. Moy has been sidelined since suffering an upper body injury against Syracuse in the season opener, and the Vols get their defensive lineman back. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the big finish of your Thursday morning. Ramona and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee for 60 more minutes on your Friday, Junior. Calvin Ridley is very upset, Ramon Foster, and was very candid yesterday, saying, I didn't expect this, but I'm moving on. Trying my best to move on for the past weeks. Excited for the new opportunity. Thank God I have another game in front of me. I'm very upset. Calvin Ridley has caught 8 of the 21 passes thrown his way for 111 yards. He leads the league with 4 drops. His drop rate is 19%, Ramon, which is more than 2% higher than any other player who's been targeted at least 20 times this season. That from Nick Suss of the Tennessean, who wrote about this yesterday in the locker room. Brian Callahan says it's kind of like a hitter who's in a slump, and says sometimes the key to handling that, Ramon, is by reminding the player of who they are. In this case, saying, hey, dude, you're a first-round pick. You're a national champ. You're a 3-time 1,000-yard receiver. Calvin Ridley doesn't want to hear that, and told the media yesterday, honestly, that makes me more mad than anything because I know that. Calvin Ridley says, I'm not a guy who needs to hear that all the time, but that just pisses me off because I know who I am. I just ain't did it yet. End quote. A lot of ways I want to go with this, Ramon. Let's start here. At what point do the Titans have to go away from Calvin Ridley and try something else? And are we already there?
I think we're already there. I know Cam's going to be a good young rookie and try to, appease him. We're already there. We're seeing plays now being thrown to Chimere Dike. We're seeing plays now being made for Alec Ayumana, who's been the go-to guy. Like, it shows to me, I was joking with somebody on our YouTube chat, and I was just like, man, are you saying that Alec is the number 1 wide receiver? It's like, well, if the shoe fits, wear it. Like, that's what the situation is. Like, this story is going to tell itself on who's catching the football and who coaches choose to go to in these gotta-have-it moments. Like, Calvin at this point, and I feel where he's coming from, but he's more of a decoy with the stuff that this offense has going on than the actual main target. If he can't get open, can't get schemed open, or he's dropping the football, this is a production-based business. Y'all know how this thing goes. Like, at some point, you get phased out. It's one of the moments where the Homer Simpson walking into the bushes. Like, you just kind of close the door behind him, essentially. That's what this turns into. And I feel where Calvin's coming from as an athlete. The only thing that gets you right in out of these moments is success. And Calvin's had the ball thrown his way. He's had it hit his hands. He's had it hit his hands 2-3 times on one play. As I hit this table, my bad, y'all. He's had the ball hit his hand 2 or 3 times on one play, and he drops it. His level of success and confidence is only going to come back when he shakes that. And until it does, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Thank you, George Bush. I don't think that the Titans have the luxury of totally moving on from him yet. I don't think we're there yet. I disagree. because Calvin Ridley still had the training camp that he had with Cam Ward. Calvin Ridley still has the connection with Cam on and off the field that he has. He's open. Just got to catch it. I think Elikai Manor is such a different kind of player and different role in this offense to where he's not a one-to-one replacement for Calvin's production. Like, Elick is partly open because of Calvin, right? Like, if you take Calvin off the field.
I 100% agree. It's the Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster conversation.
Right. To me, and this is not a one-to-one comparison, but I think it could turn into this. Brian Callahan has compared this offense to the Bengals offense a lot and has talked about how when they signed Calvin Ridley and Rand Carthon did that deal, Ramon, that Calvin was the Jamar Chase. Calvin was going to be schemed up in not the same way. They're not the same player, but similarly to the way that Cincinnati used Jamar Chase. Can Elikai Manor be the Titans' T. Higgins? The physical outside receiver opposite of your in-breaking route playmaker guy that's going to do more of the dynamic stuff remote. Like, is Aya Manor good enough to fulfill that role for this team moving forward?
Is he going to be what? My bad. I was looking at somebody who said we need to take responsibility for Calvin being bad right now. My bad. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I thought she was going. That's on me.
You're good. My question is, can Elikai Manor be the equivalent of what Brian Callahan had in T. Higgins in Cincinnati?
Can he be? Yeah.
The big physical outside receiver opposite the one. Like the 1B. And not in terms of production. I mean in terms of usage and role and the way they are deployed.
That's what his that's what his pre-draft tape showed. Remember, we spoke about his ability to come back to the ball.
Combat catcher.
Yes, combat catcher is the term that we use.
You have the in-breaking route guy, you have the catch and run guy, and then you have the bigger physical target.
That works if Calvin is also pulling up his end of it. Like the one that he dropped, what was it, in the end zone or in the middle of the field where he caught it twice and dropped it basically? I know he had a body on him, but like that's supposed to be his skill set. That's supposed to be what his play expectation is on the field too.
Yeah, sure.
So yes, you do have, Will, to your point, your go-get-it guy in Calvin and your battler, your combat catcher in Elikai Manor. Like that's the perfect setup that you want. You need a bruiser like your Steve Smith types out there.
I think that training camp and practice is not a total mirage for Calvin. Eric was the one you were mentioning on YouTube. It says, y'all got to take some responsibility here. Local media and local media only gassed up the fan base on Ridley. That's true. But we didn't make that up.
No.
There are reasons why we gassed up the fan base on Calvin Ridley having a high level of production this year because he was really productive in practice. Mm-hmm. And according to Brian Callahan, Ramon, that's not changed. Brian made an interesting point this week talking about Calvin Ridley when he said sometimes there are guys who struggle a bit in practice and that then when they struggle in games, it doesn't surprise you because you know they're working through something. Mm-hmm. This is not that. And Brian told the media, he's like, there's something going on here, but we're not seeing it during the week. For whatever reason, when the lights come on, Calvin Ridley is in a slump. And at this point, when people like us start talking about it, when your head coach has to address it, when the head coach is having to say things like, hey, remember who you are, and Calvin's like, no, that makes me more mad.
I feel him.
Then it becomes more of a thing. Mm-hmm. And then you start digging. They're going to, however they do this, they're going to put away their shovel and stop digging and just let Calvin be Calvin. It's not time to throw out all of the good that he has given your offense at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. We got to keep chipping away to see if we can get that on game day because, Ramon, the Titans don't have the luxury of a plan B to just go away from Calvin Ridley.
And here's the thing. It's suggested and known in that building he's wide receiver one. So there's a lot of things when it comes to the hyping up of what Calvin Ridley is, right? He's wide receiver one here. Whether he's two on another team, it don't matter. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, for the Tennessee Titans, he's wide receiver one. Secondly, he has the skill set that you think. He has the speed. We've seen that. He has the route running. We've seen that. He also, to add to the hype of what he is, if he got 1,000 yards last year with the inconsistency of the quarterback, the offense with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph.
Right.
The expectation was, even as a rookie, Cam Ward is going to make him a better wide receiver. The offense is supposed to be more friendly for what Calvin wanted and should be as an NFL player here in the city. So the hype of what the projection of what this offense is with him as a player, it was justified.
Yeah, it's totally justified.
It's not on me that you go run into a wall and say, why did you hit me? No.
Well, and two, like, and Eric makes the point and says, well, but who is he practicing against? Okay, but who he's practicing against has nothing to do with his inability to catch the football on Sundays.
That part.
Because it's not lack of separation. Let's not get these two things confused.
He's getting open.
If Calvin Ridley was not getting open on Sundays and was having trouble separating, then I think we could make the argument and say, yep, you know what? That's on us. He wasn't going up against a great secondary in practice. We were wrong. But that's not what's happening. Mm-hmm. He's just not catching the ball when he's open. Something is not clicking for him on game days. And I'll tell you what, I'm there as early as anybody when those players get there on Sundays, home and away.
Yeah.
He is out there early in the morning, like first guy on the field, Ramon, at Nissan Stadium, catching footballs. He is on the jugs machine after practice. Mm-hmm. The work is being put in. This isn't hey, he's been going up against Darrell Baker, so yeah, of course he's not getting the ball. No, he's open. He just can't catch it. You just got to keep feeding him and trust that, eventually, Ramon, they've got to live and die by Calvin Ridley this year.
They do.
Until he's traded or until they really just punt, which they're not there yet, he has got to be a big part of this offense.
I would say they ain't got to live and die by him. I know what you're saying. He has to be the guy, and they want him to be the guy. Is I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think that's what you're saying. That's the issue. To your point,
I still think he has to be the guy.
He still has to be the guy.
I do.
The way it's set up right now, if this is correct, Calvin has 21 targets, 8 catches. The reason I say it don't have to be that way, Alec Ayemaner has 18 and 10 catches.
Right.
It's your 1 and 2. Your 2's got more catches than him.
Yeah, he does.
But if Calvin brought those balls that he's dropped in, we may be having a different conversation. But you're right. He has the most targets on this team. And they're going to continue, I think, still try to get him going because getting him going should open up everybody else, to your point. This offense isn't strong enough to just say, we going to our number 2 wide receiver.
Brian on YouTube says, trade Chig and Ridley, start Helm and DK over him. No, Brian, I appreciate you. I know you watch the show a lot. We got to have a conversation about Chig Okonkwo because, Ramon, I think sneakily he's a bright spot for this offense right now. That's what I wanted
to bring up to you. He's leading in passing yards right now.
Chig Okonkwo is open. Chig Okonkwo made a spin move that got you a first down in Denver. Chig is one of the few guys with the ball in his hand who is dynamic enough to make someone miss and get you more than what you originally were going to get based on the route he's running. I think Chig has quietly had a pretty solid start to this season, but what are our expectations for Chig? Chig is a third day draft pick tight end. Yeah. Relative to his expectations, Ramon, on where he was drafted, Chig Okonkwo has been everything you wanted him to be here. And he's in a contract year, and just because you want to see new young players play doesn't mean that Gunnar Helm is ready to be tight end 1. I think they want him to be that. But just because you guys are, I think maybe, and I understand, I'm a Titans fan too, I get it. Sometimes there's fatigue of the new draft picks have shown you so much promise. You're just a little, if we do the same thing with freshmen in college football, you get a little overeager to see the young guys before they're ready.
Yeah.
Chig Okonkwo does not need to be replaced. Chig Okonkwo is doing his job. And to the point about trade Ridley and put in DK doesn't play Calvin's position.
No.
The next guy behind Calvin Ridley, Ramon, is Bryce Oliver. And he's hurt right now, and he's a special teamer. You don't have a replacement for what Calvin Ridley brings to your offense. You just simply need him to catch the football and play better.
And I love this, too, for Chig, to your point, too. Chig's fighting. He's fighting for that contract, his notoriety.
It's a big year for Chig.
They drafted a guy specifically at his position.
That's right.
Who he knows has talent.
Chig has put in a lot of work also to be a better blocker this offseason, and I think that has shown.
Yep.
I'm not trying to call you out, Brian. I appreciate you giving your take on that, but I don't agree with that on Chig right now. I think he deserves some credit for being solid and earning, I think, more of a responsibility in this offense. He's exceeded my expectations so far, I'll be honest with you.
Be real with you. I thought Callahan was going to leapfrog him.
I thought so too.
I did.
He may still. Gunner's a really good football player, but why not both?
But
like we talked about with the corners this morning, like the growth of the rookies doesn't need to always be at the expense of the veterans.
So real.
It can be in addition to the veterans.
That's so real.
Let's just get some depth. Let's have two good players at the same position.
Facts.
Thursday, 3 picks against the spread, previewing the football weekend coming up.
Is your concrete in need of repair? Maybe your sidewalk is shifting on you, your driveway is cracked and sinking, or your porch steps have moved. Shifting concrete can create a dangerous situation and just a trip hazard around your home. It's also just a big eyesore. It's Ramon Foster, and whatever's going on with your concrete, call United Structural Systems. Ask them about their polyurethane foam injections. You've heard about USS for a long time. It's the same company that's provided superior foundation repair and waterproofing to Middle Tennessee since 1994. Well, they can also fix your sunken or settling concrete. USS uses polyurethane foam injection to lift and repair your sinking concrete in a matter of minutes. Lifted concrete can be walked on immediately or even driven on after about 30 minutes. So don't go through the long, expensive process of ripping out and replacing concrete. Reach out to the company I trust, man. You can go to their website at USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. And every Thursday, you got to be locked in because we're making you money. Here on the show, the Thursday 3, it's either in the first hour, the last hour. Today, it's the last hour of the show, your Thursday tradition. So, last week, Justin, you went 2-1. You are 9-3. You're Butch Jones. You're Mark Richt. You're the Mark Richt of betting, Justin. What were the ones you hit? You hit the Oklahoma-Auburn over? Was that right?
I didn't hit that one.
That was the one you missed. So you hit Miami and Florida, or Miami 7.5 over Florida.
Yep.
And you had Chiefs -6 at the New York Football Giants. I had a hilarious 0-3 last week. I mean, just hilarious how the way this happened. Tennessee was covering 38.5 since like the second the game was kicked off. And then all of a sudden UAB comes back. They score the late touchdown. Tennessee then tries to score again in 2 minutes, maybe because UAB stomped on their kicker. And then they drop a pass in the back of the end zone to not cover the 38.5. So I lost that one. Missouri was 1 point away from covering against South Carolina. Didn't get that one. And then the Rams, who had a field goal to win the game and cover +3.5, not only got the field goal blocked, then it was recovered for a touchdown. And so I am 6-6 because of what happened with all those 3 games. Yeah, those are the breaks.
There's some bad beats right
absolutely
there.
Very bad beats.
God, dog, Will. And that ball was caught in the end zone, too.
Look, this is why, again, we encourage you to do these things responsibly. And even if you make good picks, because I still believe I made good picks, and it didn't. As a former Titans general manager once said, the ball is not round; it bounces different directions sometimes.
Was it J-Rock?
You had that was Rain Carthon. You had I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
You had Utah -3 against Texas Tech. That one was not your best.
Silly of me.
Michigan -2.5 at Nebraska.
I got it.
By the skin of your teeth. And Georgia Tech Temple under 51.5. You doubted Haynes King and his ability to move the football. How dare you?
My bad, young king.
That's your guy.
That is my dude.
So
man.
you were 1-2. You are 6-6. You are Jeremy Pruitt. All right, I'm done. Wow. Thursday 3 picks. Justin leads us off this morning. Any day now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Eventually.
I was doing something.
Don't let us interrupt.
Well, I am trying to work here. I don't like to be compared to Butch Jones.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I don't know, but I am building my 9-3 brick by brick.
Be careful.
Anyways.
You'll lose to Vandy in South Carolina if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Straight up.
All right, let's start off with an 11 o'clock kickoff tomorrow, Notre Dame at Arkansas. This is a game where both teams need a break in a good way. So I think they both have a high-scoring offense. They both have some issues on offense, have some issues on defense.
Ooh. Just saw the total in this game. Oh, my goodness.
I was going to take the over on this, but then I saw that it was 64.5.
64.5.
I decided to not take that. So I'm actually going to take Arkansas plus the 4.5. I think that's a solid pick just because both teams have played in really tight games. Even if Arkansas doesn't win, I think they lose by a field goal.
I agree.
Taylor Green this year is, I think he's in 3 games. He's thrown for over 300 yards. The offense is clicking. The defense, on the other hand, that's the issue. That's the weak point there. So I think both teams in this instance are going to be high scoring. I just don't know if I like it enough to do the 64.5.
Sure.
But I like it enough to have Arkansas to cover. Plus, they're playing in Arkansas.
I agree.
Sam Pittman also is 6-6 against the spread when he is a home dog.
Like 6-6 in the game or against the spread?
6-6 against the spread since becoming coach at Arkansas. A home dog. So it's even money there.
I don't know if that's your best strategy because he's 500, but I do like the pick. I think Arkansas, and it's interesting because like which desperation matters more?
Yeah.
Desperation to keep your job or desperation to stay in the playoff race? Because Notre Dame cannot afford another loss if it wants to be a playoff team. Arkansas can keep its staff safe with a win over Notre Dame. I think it's a really interesting game. I think Arkansas wins the game. I think Arkansas bound. I don't think Arkansas is that bad. I think Arkansas is a fumble on the 10-yard line away from still being an undefeated football team at this point. Or not undefeated, but I mean they're 2 fumbles away from maybe actually being undefeated, but they're a fumble away from still beating that Memphis team last week in the Memphis State Championship.
Coming back from squandering an 18-point lead in the first half, I just don't see that happening 2 weeks in a row. Arkansas is actually a decent football team.
They are.
I think they'll prove that this weekend.
I'm anti-Arkansas, man. Taylor Green looked like this last year was a bum, and then he played against us and was friggin' lights out. I hope they lose big. Hope they die. Hope they burn in hell.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
You know
aggressive.
what?
That was
What's your pick?
Samuel Jackson right there.
Give me your first pick,
Time to
Ramon.
kill. My first pick. I'm riding the train, man. Choo-choo all day long, man, is what I'm telling you. Lane Kiffin said, bet the over, LSU, Ole Miss. That man's daughter was sitting on that linebacker's lap right there as her boyfriend. And Lane Kiffin said, bet the over. The over's 55.5. Well, the line said 55.5. I'm taking it over seriously on this. And I think this could be Lane Kiffin being petty. I think it could be defensive for LSU, but I see this as an unlocking of Lane Kiffin and what they got going this weekend. Simply, I don't know how to read it. I honestly don't know who's going to win, but I got LSU. Well, I got over 55.5 on this one.
If you are unfamiliar with the story, Whit Weeks, the veteran linebacker for LSU, is dating Lane Kiffin's daughter, Landry. And Landry goes to Ole Miss. Whit obviously goes to LSU. They're playing this weekend. It is the Landry-Kiffin Bowl. And Lane Kiffin responded to a tweet of a picture of them and said, bet the over or take the over.
I'm taking it.
All right. Ramon's following Lane Kiffin's advice. That's the headline
That's
here.
rare.
Lane Kiffin told us to do something and Ramon said, okay, I will. I think that's going to be a really good football game. I have got a pick in that game as well. I think LSU wins the game. I think the wrong team is favored. Give me LSU plus 1.5 at Ole Miss. I think Blake Baker's defense has the strength and size up front to disrupt the timing of Ole Miss's offense. I'm not really worried about the quarterback situation because, quite honestly, Trinidad Chambliss has looked just as good as Austin Simmons this year. And I was really high on Austin Simmons coming into the season. It's really surprised me how he's not been better. For whatever reason, Mark Stoops' defenses still just give Lane fits. Like Mike Bobo offenses give Tim Banks fits similarly. So I just think LSU's defense is good enough at the point of attack and at the line of scrimmage to hold back that Ole Miss offense. And I think that Garrett Nussmeier and the offense open things up a little bit more. I think that they have been conservative because they know they could be against some of the opponents they played early in the season. I also think Garrett Nussmeier's hurt. And apparently he is doing better after a win over high school team Southeastern Louisiana last week. I don't know. It's a risky one. I don't like going against a home team that's getting 1.5 or favored by 1.5. But I just think LSU is so good in that front seven on defense that they're going to be able to contain Ole Miss offensively. Give me Tigers plus 1.5 at the Rebel Landshark Black Bears.
Oh, gotcha.
Justin, your second pick.
I like this. We're all going on the same game, but I'm going to flip on Will. I'm going to go
Showdown.
Ole Miss getting the 1.5 at home. I like the quarterback situation. I like what Trinidad Chambliss has done. 2 straight games, he's thrown for over 300 yards. This offense is on fire. LSU, on the other hand, in big games this season, they not put up a lot of points, which is one of the reasons why I wouldn't take the over. But, you can listen to Lane Kiffin. That's your choice.
I like that.
I like what Ole Miss is doing. I like the defensive battle. I just like Ole Miss at home, and that's really where it is. Like, the defenses are good. I don't know if there's that much of a difference for the defensive battle, but for the offensive battle, I just like what Ole Miss is doing right now. Let the hot team stay hot.
Thing is, though, that's just not a tough place to play. Like, Ole Miss isn't loud.
It's not. It's the bowl goes outward, too. Like, the way the stadium is set up, it's friendly. Yes, it's kind of what I would call it. It's one of the places like the fans aren't necessarily mean. The sound really does escape in Oxford, man. It was pleasant the times I've been there.
But you like really interesting game.
You like the comfortability factor, waking up in your own bed.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
The meal, your team meal at your place. You're wearing your home uniform. The whole situation, the game day experience is totally different. And I just like that for these really close, like 1 to 3 point spread games. And
I mean, LSU never wears their home uniform. They're always in white. So they're also wearing their home uniform in this game. I'm just being petty now. Ramon, give me your second pick.
My second pick, man, Big Ten ball. They got a Big Ten matchup, a top 10 matchup, man. Penn State at Oregon. Oregon at Penn State.
Whiteout game at night, too.
I know.
The Big Ten learned they can play good games at primetime.
They better do something for marketing, man. What a concept before the snow falls. I don't know how to call this one. Oregon is who I think they are. They got a young quarterback. I don't know what Penn State's quarterback is also, but I know this. They score a lot of – well, they have questions about Drew Aller.
They certainly have.
They got a lot of questions about Drew Aller. Can also James Franklin, can he get over the hump? Like, is his – I said hump. Like a compilation.
Sure hope so.
Is this Jerry curl going to curl all the way over is what I'm feeling. Like, it's like –
he's bald, so probably not.
He probably had a shag in the 80s. He definitely had a curl. He had a Jerry curl in the 80s.
If he was still the head coach of Vandy, he'd probably call and correct us right now.
What I got for you is this. I'm taking the over because Big Ten teams, Oregon likes to score. It's 51.5 where I saw it at. I'm taking the over, too.
51.5 is correct.
Seems like cop-outs on these overs. I've never really bet overs like this. I just see this as a lot of scoring.
Here's the thing on Penn State. Are they Clemson or are they LSU? And LSU far from has not answered all their questions yet. But, like, the production that Penn State has coming back, being a can't win the big one team. I mean, James Franklin's record against top 10 opponents is what it is. But James Franklin has never had a staff this good. James Franklin's never had a roster this good. Does the profile of team match who that program has been under that head coach? Yeah. Is that baked into just the DNA of who they are as a football program in games like this? Or is it different this time? Because LSU has, I think, answered a lot of their questions early. They still got to keep doing it.
True.
Clemson, on the other hand, we expected to make a jump. And Clemson looks closer to last year's Florida State.
Oh, they jumped.
Than they do, a team that's taking a step forward that is being proven right. I think there's somewhere in the middle. I like Penn State in this game a lot. I do. Not enough to make it my pick because I like Georgia better, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But it's really interesting. I mean, the additions they made at wide receiver, Ramon, with those two backs and what they bring back at offensive line, and now you've got Jim Knowles coaching the defense. Like, the potential is there that if Penn State is as good as they can be, I think they might be the best team in college football. Now that we don't have a legitimate Texas.
Supposed to.
And that Ohio State, I think, still has a lot of questions to be answered, too. We learn a lot about two national title contenders in that game, and it's going to be a really fun one. Really fun one. I like Georgia against Alabama. I'm just not going to overthink it, guys, to be quite honest with you. Alabama, under Kalen DeBoer, is a heavily penalized football team away from home. And they are walking into a hornet's nest where Georgia has not lost in over 30 games. I'm not going to overthink it. This spread is really close. I do think Alabama has answered a lot of questions about the character of that team and their culture after going to Florida State and losing. But Wisconsin doesn't really teach you a whole lot because Wisconsin is closer to firing their coach than they are building any kind of semblance of a program up there right now. I like Ty Simpson. I like what he's done. I think he's answered a lot of questions. How does that offensive line hold up against the Georgia defensive front that is known to, Ramon, not stuff the stat sheet in lesser games and then just flip the switch? Yeah. I think Georgia flips the switch. I think they beat Alabama by 2 scores.
I love
Georgia
that.
-3 against Alabama.
I love that. I absolutely would love to stuff them in a corner, beat them down. Like RT Willie is out here making AI generated videos like he's giving a call. You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing those types of things. It came across my algorithm. Stomp Bama into a corner. I pray for that.
Pick number 3.
Let's go to the NFL. There's something that I like to do when it comes to betting, and I don't know if you've picked up on it. It's trends. I like to bet with the trend. The Giants. Every time I have bet against the Giants, it's been a 6-point spread. So this Sunday, nothing is different. The Chargers are traveling to New York to face the Giants -6 points. I already got the Chiefs winning by 6 points. I already got the Commanders in week 1 winning by 6 points against the Giants. This week, adding the fact that Russell Wilson's been benched, now Jackson Dart's getting the start, first time as a rookie. I just don't know enough about this Giants team to confidently say that they can cover a spread right now, outside of the Cowboys game. That's a divisional game. They always mean different. The Chargers with Justin Herbert is playing really well. The offense is playing really well. I'd like to see them click a little bit more, and I think they will as they continue to get a little bit more healthy and just more chemistry down.
Sure.
Chargers -6 at the Giants seems to me like an easy play. There's just not enough consistency with this Giants team. So we'll see what Jacksonville can do. But
yeah, those games where rookie quarterbacks are making their debuts are just risky. Because Jackson Dart could have a Will Levis kind of debut against the Falcons.
Oh.
I said that because Stephen Godfrey texted us that he's listening right now. I'm just kidding.
What up, guy?
Or it can be that he struggles in the way that, Cam Ward went to Denver and went up against a good defensive front and struggled. But I think on paper, it's a good pick. Your third and final pick, please, remember.
Man, Kentucky going to South Carolina again for a second night game.
An underrated good game this weekend in the SEC.
Love this. And Kentucky's been good to me the first time. I was plus 9.5 against Ole Miss, and it was actually pretty good for me.
Gosh, that spread's 5.5?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
South Carolina's fallen, man.
I'm taking the plus 5.5 Kentucky is what I'm doing. It's a night game. I don't know where South Carolina is. I feel like I know what more of what Kentucky is than they are. Kentucky's also coming off the bye week going into this one also. South Carolina is just scrambling for life. Savage keeps telling me that their offensive line is cheeks. I feel like Kentucky's going to always have one or two rushers that get after. Sneakily, Kentucky has put in some pass rushers in the NFL and defensive linemen. That's their calling card. I see this going that way. They got to win. Vandy absolutely embarrassed them last time they played a night game.
They did.
I think South Carolina wins, but I think this is a tight game going into it this upcoming weekend.
I like it. Kentucky plus 5.5 at South Carolina. Man, how quickly South Carolina's fallen off. Whew. Talking about a top 10 team after they beat Virginia Tech. And then we learned that there are some 5A Virginia high schools that could also probably hang with Virginia Tech. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers as a home underdog against the Minnesota Vikings, plus 2.5. According to, I believe this was BetMGM, Mike Tomlin is the most profitable head coach against the spread as a home dog since 2000. As an underdog against the spread, Mike Tomlin, 63% winner against the spread, 65, 39, and 4 as an underdog, according to BetMGM. Give me the Steelers plus 2.5. That's just an auto pick for me. When I see that a Mike Tomlin coach team is a home underdog, I just pick it and I say play Renegade. Make it a double Renegade game, and we'll see what happens.
You know what's even better about that pick? They're playing in honor of Ambassador Rooney. It's in Dublin, Ireland, too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, dang it. It's in Dublin. No wonder it's not a home dog. Oh, no.
I still trust it.
Can I change my pick?
You can change it. You can change it. I should have told you that earlier. That's on me.
I mean, we haven't gone to Briggs, so we haven't locked it in.
We hadn't locked it in. Who you want?
That's actually really funny.
Who you want?
I literally saw a tweet yesterday, too, that talked about how they're going to make it feel like the stadium.
No, it is.
In Dublin.
No, it is. That is a Steeler home game.
Give me
there.
Penn State minus 3.5 instead.
All right. I was going to say, Lions Browns is going on. Lions favored by 7.5. That's huge.
No, Browns are too weird. Browns do some weird things.
You said it, not me.
Usually things don't work out when you last minute change your picks. So
you should have went.
When was the last time I last minute changed?
No, not you specifically, but just in betting in general. When you do a last minute change, you're going to regret possibly.
Penn State minus 3.5 against Oregon, my final pick.
Lock it in, go to break.
We'll wrap up the show. Coming up next. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the show. Again, we are live from Greystone Golf Club in Dixon tomorrow. Golf for a Cure. Ramon Foster and Lucas Panzica will be hanging out with you tomorrow morning. I am off to Long Island and then Houston.
You got a busy weekend, Will.
I do.
Long Island. Where are you flying into? You JFK in there or LaGuardia?
JFK.
I should prefer LaGuardia.
I've never flown into JFK in my life.
You haven't? I have. Well, it's so busy at JFK.
Really?
Super busy, but it's
Lovely.
doable.
Oh, my gosh, that scared me.
Coming up in there. I'm coming up in there. I'm coming up in there. I'm coming up in there.
Ron Slay's here.
Coming up in there.
The way I just physically jumped. When,
My boy.
when,
My guy. My boy. Wow, my salsa.
Yeah.
somebody's going to clip the video of me on Zone TV just jumping when you walked into the studio.
My boy.
It ain't Friday.
Listen,
It's almost.
That's that Rosley he was talking about.
Come on.
That's that Rosley he
Come
was
on,
mentioning
man.
about. That's what Matthew mentioned earlier.
See?
That was that Rosley.
Come on, man.
Woo!
Come on, Savage. You know what I mean? Look at my button. Woo, my boy. Yeah. You know I like when he go
Real
like
quick,
that.
man.
You know I like when he go like that, man.
Yeah.
That was a heck of an entry.
I can't hear my boy, but what up,
What's
though?
up?
I ain't know he was coming.
But clearly I didn't either because I just leapt up to the roof. The car lost the roof because I jumped when you came in.
You ejected yourself.
Look, there are a lot of people that don't like me and the things I say talking into microphones, and every now and then I'm like, what if someone just comes to the station and tries to hit me on the back of the head? And I was like, oh, God.
It's time.
That is a word. Let me know if I need to bring the heater monster in here. That's all.
I keep my.
Hello. How are you? What's going on?
Man, I'm cool, man. I just said, man, let me go on in here. I'm in the neighborhood. I was finna jump on the slab. And I said, man,
That's the
I'm right here
road.
by my boy. Let me go pull up on my dog, man. Anytime I get to see my dog,
That's
man,
what I
you know
did to
get
y'all
come
in
on through.
Rivergate yesterday.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
boy slid through on us. So,
Slid
you know,
through.
just popping up, man. Just hollering at my boys in the Buckaroo and Big Boss Bert and Pan Thick Man back there. You know what I mean? Just hollered to them, so. Yeah, man. Fan
Big
the
Boss
thick man.
Burt, boy.
Yeah, Big Boss Bert. I need to know what his record is when he goes see Baltimore. No, because guess what?
Bert.
No,
There you go.
Look,
Come here.
perfect timing. Hey, dog.
He just talked about
So
you.
this is my thing. I bet because Bert was going to the game, and I need to know your record when you go see Baltimore. What is your record?
For the longest, I was undefeated. I was like 5-0, and ever since now, I think I'm about to 500. At 5-5.
Defeated.
I knew it. When I bet it, I was like, man, Bert's at the game. Like, I wonder, is this going to be a good omen for me? And it wasn't.
I tried.
Vegas should know whether or not Bert's going to be in the building.
I tried.
He say I almost got kicked out. Or no, you didn't almost. You were good.
I was
Somebody was hating on you.
I was standing up.
I hate it when people are.
I was standing up on defense, and these Lions fans behind us went to the ushers and were like, we can't see. We can't see. The lady comes up. A Ravens employee comes up. We are on defense.
Yeah.
We are on defense. And I'm,
Yeah. I don't know.
And
As one does.
the lady is like, sir. I'm like, that way. Don't talk to me. They can't talk to them. Sir. Yeah, exactly. You got the right idea. She was like, you need to sit down. I'm like, as soon as we shut them down, you got it. I'll sit down on offense. I ain't making no noise on offense. Sir, if you do not sit down, you're going to have to leave. Huh, now?
Get out of here, dog.
I went down real quick. Like, you can sit me down, but you cannot shut me up.
Robert Walsh,
Hey, dog.
Buck Rising Show coming up next.
Anybody going to games and you don't want to stand, like you're in the wrong atmosphere. Especially franchises like that that have won. Now I understand if you come to the Titans game and you just want to kick back, you know what I
Hey,
mean?
man.
Enjoy.
Now ain't the time.
That
I
wouldn't work.
feel, man, I feel bad for people who physically can't. Unless you physically can't stand,
Right. That's different.
then you should be able to stand.
But they got sections for you, just like me. Like they got a parking section for me if I can't walk far.
Ron Slay, 3 to 6 on 3HL. Robert Walsh, the Buck Rising Show is next. I will talk to you all on Monday.
And
have a good show
tell a
tomorrow.
friend to go to any store and get a cowbell.
I'm going to get one.
J-Hawk about to play the cowbell.
Is
Clang,
he?
clang, clang, clang.
I can hear it.
I love a J-Hawk.
And your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.